9 o'clock, please join us for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning.
Morning.
First order of business is approve the minutes of February 12th as written.
I so move.
I'll second. Moved by Thompson, seconded by Meats. Any discussion?
I will abstain.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 3.
Be there in a minute, I'm a little behind because my computer,
It's trying to wake up, is it?
yeah.
Morning.
I'll give you a little time.
Should take just a second here, I should be off and right in there.
Let Angie get her computer up so she can keep up with us. Not that we move really fast, but
Sometimes we do.
sometimes. Light agenda, we're seeing the
Okay.
nice day ahead of us. Did lock up? It's getting there. Well, dang, got the camera on.
Add some video.
Okay. Okay, now we're ready.
Tom's computer's messed up now as well. There you are.
I'm learning this thing. I'm almost there.
I hope you remember, because I'll need help, I'm sure, someday, Tom. But don't forget how to fix it, okay?
Like it's waking up too.
Well, I messed up earlier and it asked me if I wanted to restart it. I said, yeah.
Oh.
It was 2 minutes till 9.
Yeah.
I should have waited on that.
All right. First miscellaneous motion, move to approve and allow Quickcom to install fiber optic cable in the Jacobs Creek and waive all fees. Funds to be paid from Community Improvement. I think this, Tom, you wasn't here last week, but Quickcom come in and there's like 93 homes in the Coffee County area that they was looking at running fiber to the home. We kind of looked at Osage County's contract, I guess, whatever you want to call it.
What they had done.
What they had done to contribute to their system, or to their fiber optic
You
deal.
know, Pleasant Township was kind of what it was.
Right.
A lot of it, I think.
And I don't know if we have any fees on the county side for them to do that. You would probably know that answer more than I, but I don't think there's any fees that the county would charge Quickcom for that. So I would be looking towards monetary to put towards the application for the state, because it's a cost share type deal. Am I right on
Yep.
that? Okay.
Would there possibly be anything like where if they trenched across a road or something? Is that something we would?
Most everything's bored. There's no trenching across
Okay,
roads. It'd
okay.
be all bored.
That's the only thing I thought of, that maybe we might, you know, if we wanted to waive anything like that, if there was anything like that. I'm just thinking out loud.
Right?
So we can draw them out of the cost share, I didn't.
Well, Osage County was $10,000, wasn't it?
What they contributed.
Osage was 10.
Others were
There
higher.
were 2 others that was 30 or 40.
Yeah. I mean, I think for the population of 90-some versus what the population of Osage County is, it's a lot per household compared to the Osage counties.
Right, yeah,
Yeah.
Osage County, I think there was 470 homes.
Yeah, so you divide that by the
This area,
homes.
it's 95. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do know the Jacobs Creek area has suffered tremendously from the lack of internet
Yes.
availability, and I would do the same as Osage County at $10,000.
That was my thought after our conversation last week, that I think that would be, I would think a more than fair contribution is that.
Absolutely, yeah.
And
That shows the state, hey, the community's co-invested, they're invested in the project. And
yeah, that's what, I feel like that's what we want to do, is show our support and interest for it.
So it's not a wireless?
no, this is fiber directly to every home in that area.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Direct back, okay.
Yeah.
Which is, they go from nothing to the best that they could ever have.
Yeah.
I mean, which is a heck of an improvement.
Yeah, so, you got it.
But anyway, I'll reread the motion.
Hold on, I'm
Okay.
trying to read it to yourself before you read it out loud, because you may want me to change something. Cost share to the
Not to belabor the point, guys, but just going to the residents and getting support letters from them and trying to do speed tests, it was really surprising to me how many people there just don't have internet. They're
Right.
just using their cell phones.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing there.
Non-existent other than their cell phones.
Right.
So will you be able to serve as well as just, I mean, within a certain mileage of that area as well?
Yeah,
It's pretty good
it's-
size
it's-
area. About Pleasant Township.
Up to the very top left there, Tom, is that dotted line there
Uh-huh.
is where we are currently building over in Lyon County. So the fiber would basically come from over there, kind of by the rock quarry, and then just kind of east to pick up Jacobs Creek in that part of Pleasant.
I left it in my pickup.
Okay.
Total job, 1.6 million.
Awesome.
Let's see if I can afford it or
I know it's needed out there.
Takes me off, it's for long.
Yeah.
We've tried for a while wirelessly, and it's just crummy terrain out there.
Well, yeah, all
Lots
the
of
trees and
ditches and
dives.
All right, the new motion reads, move to approve and allow Quickcom to install fiber optic cable in Jacobs Creek and waive any fees. Coffee County will participate cost share program with the state of Kansas in the amount of $10,000. Funds to come from Community Improvement Reserve Fund.
Does that sound right?
I'll move.
I'll second that.
Moved by Knight, seconded by Thompson. Any discussion?
I guess the only one, Mr. Bowie's in tune with this and nothing special we need to be doing, to your knowledge, or
I don't know if I was here for the,
presentation?
right,
Well, basically, they're just gonna install some fiber optics.
We're gonna apply for a grant, is that correct?
Right.
We're gonna apply for a grant.
And the state of Kansas has asked, well, they've required for this grant that community co-investment is part of the application.
this is, part of the governor's
Yes.
movement to get internet access across the state,
Yep,
especially in rural areas.
yep, and, Coffee County has only been awarded once, up close to Lebo for, I think, 30 or 40 passings. So when you look at the list of funded counties, Coffee's pretty low on it.
Okay.
Good
I
chance
guess
to
I
get
just
it.
missed,
Good chance.
I missed the part where we were applying for a grant. I thought it was already done and gonna be installed, so.
Yeah, we're applying for a grant, so
Okay.
that's, to be clear, if we don't get awarded the grant, no money,
Okay.
so
Yeah, all right.
contingent on award.
We needed a letter of support too. Did you get that?
I did not get it yet, but basically, the template,
Is that-
from all of these other counties can be just reapplied.
Yep. There's a correction on the motion, that after $10,000 contingent on grant award. Funds to come from county improvement, or community improvement reserve fund. I think with the changes accepted. Knight moved, Thompson seconded. Any more discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes.
Thank you, commissioners.
Thank you.
Let us know if you did any good. When is the reading of the grants or the awarding of the grants?
March 11th is the application, and the state can take anywhere from 2 weeks to 20.
Right.
Look through them and get back to us.
Okay.
We're hoping to know by summertime, so by June.
Good.
And then we just, from where we're at over there in line, we just keep on going.
Good. Awesome.
Thank you, guys.
Very well.
Good luck.
Thank
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Okay. Okay.
Based upon the recommendation of Road and Bridge Superintendent, move to find that the bid for bulk de-icing salt on February 7, 2024, as per specifications of ASTN Grade 1 road salt, be awarded to Central Salt Alliance Kansas as best bid, and to purchase same for the sum of $60.75 per ton for 2,500 ton for the cost of $151,875. Funds to be paid from Road and Bridge Fund.
Do you want to do that yet? Is that Ryan?
Oh,
That'd be
is he
good.
coming in for discussion on
It'll be
that?
about
I
12
will
o'clock.
move, we will table that motion.
Is he coming?
Yeah, he's supposed to be here at 10 o'clock.
Oh.
I forgot.
Alright.
Are we gonna wait to do the disposals then, I suppose, as
Yeah.
well?
Yeah, we got a couple of those disposal deals.
Okay.
There's really nothing else.
Really nothing else.
Unless River City's not coming in to give an update today, I think.
I think they're knee deep, they've got cement trucks and they're pouring, I guess, the footings right now. So it's actually quite a spectacle with all the equipment spanning across the entire parking lot out there.
I walked in, there was 19 people standing around doing nothing.
They're getting ready.
They're getting ready. Mentally
Cement
prepared.
hadn't showed up yet.
I bet they're not doing nothing when the trucks get there.
Yeah, they had 3 cement trucks, 1 spinning and 2 sitting waiting, so.
Forward progress, forward progress.
It's good weather.
Well, I believe, you got anything for us, round table? We can start with you and run till the 10 o'clock,
Yeah,
Unless he gets here earlier.
unless he gets here early.
so, I don't know if it was provided, Don asked for sort of a breakdown of when money's gonna go out the door, anticipated from Warren. And he sent that spreadsheet, I don't know if it was provided to each of you, but why it's important. When I got it, and I can go print it off if you want it, it's important because by the end of the year, or just close to the end of the year, the county would be close to the $20 million figure, which means prior to that, the next series of bonds will need to have been issued. When I saw that, I provided it to Joe Serrano so that he was aware. He responded to me and indicated probably in the June timeframe the county will need to be moving forward so we don't have an issue with the money.
Yeah.
Sure don't want a gap there.
Right, so I think it's important, if you haven't seen it, you see it, because there's a period of time when about $2 million in 1 month, if I recall right, goes out. So it'll just take me a minute if you want me to go print it off while you circle the table. I will need to request an executive session as well. So I don't know if you want to do that now.
Might as well.
I would think so.
Trying to think of.
I don't, for one, I don't think we need to see a printout now that we're aware of June timeframe to handle the funds. Joe will be in touch with us, I'm sure. And Joe was set up to be here today, but evidently something came up.
No, that's through Greg Bernberg Company, the bonds, doesn't it run through them?
Goes through both.
Both?
So Joe will get a hold of Greg, and then both of them, so Greg is operating as the municipal advisor for the county. And he'll be a part of that, but Joe will be the one who will sort of work with, put together the documents related to the next series of bonds, which will be taxable bonds. And then, you know, who knows what the rates will look like, but that's why they'll do what they can to get the best rate for the county.
I know here a while back, something come through about the bonds, or about bonds, and I think it was even better than the last time that we got, the rates were even better. So, putting it off, we might hit the right timing to get a low,
Right.
hopefully.
Well, we're in an election year, so there's no telling what happens.
Kind of the forecast, interest will be lower next year is what I heard. I don't know. Who knows? Nobody knows. If you did, you wouldn't need a job.
But the bonds and the interest rates are about reversed. The lower the interest rate, the higher your bond rates. The higher the interest rate, the lower your bond rates are. It seems just what they're saying.
Oh, Ryan's here, I guess. He just came in.
Okay.
Maybe.
It would be good to hit a home run on the next round of bonds.
Yeah.
And the rates will be higher because they'll be taxable.
Right.
But I think that was anticipated.
It'd be nice to see the same amount, you know, because it drops some, and even though it's taxable, makes it, like, see an even run rate.
Yeah.
That spreadsheet will just demonstrate there's gonna be some pretty, heavy months for the outflow of funds if the project continues to move forward.
And they get concrete pour forward and things will start going quick.
Yeah. If I remember right, there's 1 month, and I don't remember whether it's March, April, or May. We're talking about $1.7 or $1.9 million going out the door.
I see.
So, you have a few months like that will
Take long.
feed through pretty quick.
They bring those sales,
All different kinds of things moving once they get that done.
Well, I'm sure there's a vast amount of plumbing and electrical's gotta go in that door before they pour it, but they're doing the footing, so I'm sure they got the plumber and electrician on notice.
they bring all those cells in, drop them in. That would be a big bump of money. So.
Mm-hmm.
Morning, Mr. Dirk.
Good morning.
We're at a standstill, man. You wanna hit the ground running, just come on up.
Annette?
I already tried to approve one of them, but
Yeah.
they stopped me, they're like, you wanna wait for Ryan to come in? Got ahead of myself a little bit.
All right.
Did you have a good weekend?
Yeah, wasn't bad. Nice weather, so enjoyed some of it. No call-outs this weekend. So the first motion I've got was the one that was tabled last week. So I just double-checked that what was being bid, what we're being asked for, and they give me the data sheet, and they rest assured that they're bidding the type 1, grade 1 salt that we're asking for. So I guess we'll just do that motion again.
Okay. Based upon the recommendations, Road and Bridge Superintendent find that the bid for de-icing salt on February 7, 2024 as specifications of ASTM grade 1 road salt be awarded to Central Salt, Lyons, Kansas, as best bid, and to purchase same for the sum of $60.75 per ton for 2,500 tons for the cost of $151,875. Funds to be paid from Road and Bridge Fund.
Second that.
Moved by Egan, seconded by Thompson. Any discussion? I visited with Ryan after our meeting. Well, I don't remember. It might have been a day or two later. He had spoken with Central Salt and everything. So I'm good with it.
So does it have the clay and everything in it that we discussed?
The salt will be better. I've always said the salt would be better out of that location. You know, Jeff,
Okay.
Jeff always wanted the other solved, so it was never an option.
Yeah,
So,
so that's why I was asking, and just, you were, you know, everybody's satisfied.
yeah, so. If there's no other discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
All right, thank you. Next, be a motion for the assorted culvert pipes, and this would be for the Blackberry, the haul route. And so if you look at the bid sheet there, kind of highlighted,
Hold on a second.
Hold on a second.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Are we
I don't
missing
think we
something?
have that.
Because I didn't see that in
Yeah, I
our
know.
stuff in the email.
Okay, hold on a minute, I'll pop that in there if I have it here.
Go with miscellaneous parts if you wanted to go with miscellaneous parts while she's working on that. Do you have miscellaneous parts?
Yep. So we got a couple, basically disposal motions. Just for miscellaneous filters and some parts for equipment that we don't have any longer. So one would be, let me see here, to Foley, and then the other would be to Burlington Auto. So Foley's just gonna credit us, the amount there for theirs, and then Burlington Auto would give us a reimbursement.
They're not charging any restock fees or anything?
Not that I'm aware of.
We'll do the Burlington Auto first. Move to find miscellaneous parts bought from Burlington Auto are no longer, whoops,
I got those.
Oh, he's got those,
But I
okay.
don't.
are no longer required and cannot frequently be used for the public purpose of Coffee County. And, should be disposed for the credit.
So moved.
I'll second.
Moved by Hugo, seconded by Meats. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes.
I'm sorry, who made it and who seconded?
Hugo moved, Meats seconded. Next is Foley. Move to find miscellaneous parts bought from Foley equipment are no longer required and cannot prove to be used for public purpose Coffee County, and should be disposed of for credit. I'll move.
I'll second that.
Moved by Knight, seconded by Thompson. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes.
All right,
I
thank you.
just found it, here it is, so it should be in there, it's gonna be a little bit, might be hard to read, maybe I have a picture of it.
Scroll over and see.
Is there several companies that bid on this pipe and stuff?
Yeah, a total of 5. We had 2 types of pipe we were bidding out on that. Some's the corrugated pipe, and some were liner pipes, plastic liners those basically for the asphalt roads, to line a few of them culverts on asphalt roads. So some companies could bid one, and some companies could bid both of them. But
So you're able to shove those liners through, is how
Yeah.
that works? Or-
yeah, and you basically get concrete or focal fill concrete around them, filling the voids around there. So
There we go.
do that a lot of times on the asphalt roads. It just keeps us from having to dig the roads up. But sometimes the pipe's too far gone, these liners we can't.
If it's sunk or anything?
Yeah, if we can't get the liners in, or if there's too much voids in there underneath the pipe where it's gone, we have a hard time getting it filled in. So sometimes we have to dig up the road. But
Yeah, save a lot of.
Sure saves a lot of patchwork.
a lot of patchwork. I mean, those culverts are a little bit more expensive, but by the time you figure your time and shutting the road down and the inconvenience of that.
Going back and fixing it when it settles and
Yeah.
everything, I would imagine.
Yeah.
She's got that.
Got it up, okay, so basically on this, J&J Drainage, was the low bid for the corrugated pipes. And then the ISCO Industries, they weren't the low bid on the liner pipes, but what we had, they contact the liner pipes that they bid is a different style than what we asked for. It's not one that we've used or are familiar with, you know, it was a few $1,000s cheaper, but, you know, really for us, we wanna go with the product that we've used. I know Contact has talked to us about maybe getting a representative here and doing the pipe demo for us so we can see it and use it and see how we might be able to get along with it, but, down the road, they might be something we might start using, but for now, I'd like to go with ISCO Industries.
Move to find the bid for assorted culvert pipes and bands be awarded to J&J Drainage Products as best bid with a price of $24,948.52, and find that the best bid for snap ties be awarded to ISCO Industries as best bid with a purchase price of $25,193.22. Funds to be paid from Road and Bridge Fund.
Second.
Moved by Thompson, seconded by Huguet. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye, motion passes.
All right, thank you. Next would be, summer mowing, should have that motion.
Yep.
So this is basically the same 4 parcels that we've bid out for several years now. The Old 50 Park, Rock Creek Cemetery, Hope Cemetery, and then the Strong Monument.
Based upon recommendation, Road and Bridge Superintendent to approve the request to advertise and hire up to 9 temporary
Wait a
seasonal.
second, hold on a minute. Whoop.
This would be.
That's, the mowing's not on there yet.
It's right here. There it is.
Okay, we're going back up again. Based upon the recommendation, Road and Bridge Superintendent moved to approve and request solicit sealed bids for seasonal mowing at Old 50 Park, Rock Creek Cemetery, Hope Cemetery, and Strong Monument.
Also moved.
I'll second. Moved by Mead, seconded by Knight. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes.
You have that sheet?
I do not.
Okay.
I'm gonna be gone for possibly 3 months this summer. I don't know what we're gonna do with the north property as far as mowing. Should we incorporate it in this bid for the summer?
I think it'd probably be a good direction. Good direction to go.
I would say.
And I would mow, I can come back and clean up the unnecessary that's been mowed in the past. I would just look at the driveway down to the house and around the house property.
Yeah.
You know, just the immediate,
It'd be better to keep it down, I think.
keep the mice and stuff out.
So if we're gonna add it to this, so we always have a pre-bid meeting for the people that are interested, that way they know exactly what they're bidding on. So, I mean, we about need a map or something to identify exactly what you're wanting mowed up there.
Okay, and I can get that from Bobby at Economic Development, because that's, the last time I checked with a mower to mow that, I think they said it was right at 6 acres was the absolute minimum that I had on the map. So, not that I would do it if I was gonna be here, but if I'm gonna be gone for 2-3 months,
How long does it take you to mow it?
about 3 hours. That's and that's everything. That is everything.
You know, we could also have a separate,
We could do
have it
separate.
separated from this, 'cause
That might be best.
I mean, you're saying you're gone for 3 months, and this is gonna be for the entire mowing season
Right,
here on these
right.
other ones.
Right, maybe it'd be best.
I've
just-
got one other location, the Jacobs Creek Lagoons, that I'm probably gonna come back and do the same thing, but it's You know, that's something that's gonna be a tractor and bush hog, and not a mower like his would mow these other properties, so might make more sense to just have it its own.
We'll just wait on that. We'll work on that.
Alright.
Yeah. Let's see, what else is
Joel moved
there? Did we move a second up?
No.
Oh, wait a minute, all right.
Second, you just did.
You were gonna throw that possibly in there.
Okay, oh, all right, well,
We might be able to work something out.
we all in favor, say aye. Aye, motion passes.
Alright, thank you. The next motion, 2024-12, would be for our seasonal summer help. I think we usually request to approve 9 or 10. Last year we hired 6, so every year is just kind of depends. We very seldom do we ever hire 9, but that's kind of what we put in there in case we have the need for it.
Based on the recommendation of the road and bridge superintendent to approve the request to advertise and hire up to 9 temporary seasonal employees.
So moved. I'll second that.
Moved by Hugan and seconded by Thompson. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye, motion passes.
Alright, thanks. That's all my motions. Did know about the possibility of setting up a work session sometime, and got the minimum maintenance roads stuff to go over, and like to do a recap on our 2023 projects, and then our upcoming 2024 project books. And so I'd like to have an hour probably, and didn't know if the 26th next week would work, or what's your guys' schedule?
Are we doing checks and vouchers on the 26th?
No.
Or do the 28th?
We got it down to the 28th.
Okay. Yeah, do we want just to be safe, set it up for 1? Or the way kind of just play it by ear, see what the schedule looks like?
Yeah.
You set it up for 1, and I mean, I'd be ready to
If we
go
have a short day like
early.
today, then we can go early.
Yeah.
We got the Lake Region meeting, but that's not, doesn't take any time at all,
Right.
right?
I mean, you could even do 11 if you wanted to, if there's nothing else.
We'll schedule 1 for now, because I'll probably have some PowerPoint stuff, and that would give us time to make sure that's up and going there at lunch and be ready at 1.
Okay.
If we need to go earlier, we can.
Okay.
So it'd be road and bridge work session.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alright, well, that's all I had for today. You guys have anything for me?
Got some dry weather.
Yeah, it's been welcomed for sure. So, making some progress on the roads. They're not perfect, but they're better.
I've noticed in my area, and I'm not complaining, but I'm just waiting for the complaints to come. When they're grading, and I'm not a road grader person by no means, nor do I want to be, but when they grade a road, they're moving pebbles. There's not any fines, or there's very little fines coming across as they're grading across. So they fill the potholes up with pebbles.
Yeah,
4 cars later, that pothole's back.
right.
What do
You
we
can get more
do?
aggressive and spend more time on the roads. You know, we've got the eradicator bits. You know, we're trying to cover miles right now, so,
I know.
you know, to fix them right, you need to rip the chuck holes out and rip up more fines and get some more material to work with. Everything's so hard panned, you know, from the weather we had. So right now, we're just trying to get over the miles, and then, you know, when we come back and hit them the next time, they should spend a little more time on there.
Okay.
So if, you know, if you're fully staffed, you got all your maintainer men, about how long does it take for them to get over the roads, just to blade them in a normal
Well, a normal blading, you know, you're only gonna be making 2 passes for the most part on all of the roads, maybe 3 on the wider roads, but, you know, I know now, when I've been in there, I've been making anywhere from 3 to 5. You know, you try to fold both sides in, so it takes a little more time to get over, but, on a typical blading throughout the year, you know, there's around 120 miles. If you figure 8 to 10 miles a day, you know, I think 3 weeks, roughly a guy should get over their territory.
I'm just curious how long
Yeah.
that typically took.
Yeah.
It would seem like forever being the blade operator.
Oh, I mean, it
Especially if
does.
the chuck holes are there.
Yeah, I mean, that's,
I drove out on Treepole going south off 58, and it was just like you said, the potholes, there wasn't any rock in them.
Mm-hmm.
It just, they weren't, you know, the ground's hard right now.
yeah,
I did drive over the Woodson County line that we talked about here, and they've got it down to where it's passable.
yeah,
They had, you know, ruts for that deep in that brown rock.
yeah.
I went east out of Burlington the other day. On that curve where we've always had some issues with chuck holes, there are 4 or 5 starting to crawl inside the white line. Might want to take a look at it.
Okay.
It's
The first curve.
Yeah, the first curve, there's
Yeah.
a few potholes there starting to crawl inside
Yeah.
the white.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of work on our
Yeah.
asphalt roads or chip and seal and stuff this year. They took a beating last year in that dry weather.
No, they did.
Correct.
We got a lot of patching,
Yeah.
patching to do, filling, but
Yeah.
What are they looking at, like, have you heard any start date times on 50 highway?
no.
No.
There should be a pre-construction meeting set up sometime, but they haven't set a date yet.
I see they're doing a lot of surveying on 75 north of
Yeah, I saw that.
Burlington for the acceleration,
Yeah,
deceleration.
so we asked about that last week. The state's just doing the final review on the plans before they put it out to bid. They didn't really give me a time on when that would be done, but I see they're doing a lot more surveying up there, so.
So that hasn't been put out for bid yet?
No, that one hasn't been put out for bid
Oh,
yet.
okay, okay.
Yeah. Yep.
And the 50 highway's been put out for bid, but it
It's-
hasn't had the.
It's been awarded. It's been awarded, but we haven't had the pre-construction meeting on it yet, so. Yep.
Do you wanna provide an update on the Meadows property, the survey? Cause I know that's sort of.
Yeah, didn't bring that information with me, but so we've, talked with our county surveyor, and it sounds like there's a couple options for us to be able to work through him on getting that done. I need to get with Jimmy Hugiton one more time, just to, you know, I think there was some discussion if that's a platted area, if means we wanted 3 different properties, if we were gonna have to replat that, which was gonna be a major pain in the rear. And I think there were some options that, we were gonna be able to work around that, I believe, from the conversation that Wade and I had and talking with Steve Brosmer from Geotech. So, I think we can go ahead and divide out that first 1.5 acres, or that we're maybe looking at getting rid of. And then the next parcels, next time we do it, there may be another step involved when that gets split out, but I don't think it should be anything too major.
I think we want to release all 3 of them at once.
At once. Okay.
To do like a auction / sealed
So,
bid type. deal.
okay, so we want to do all 3 at once.
Mhm.
Correct.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's still doable, so I just need to get with Jimmy Hugiton one more time, unless you got more to add to that way.
I had a brief conversation with Jimmy Hugiton because I think some assumed that the county had to go through city zoning and their definition. If it's any more than 3, then it's required. And trying to think of the best way to say it. You're going from 1 to 3, so you're taking 1 and dividing it into 2 more. But if you did any more than that, then it would require to go through city zoning, is the best way I can describe it, and that probably still doesn't make sense. So,
I had the same conversation, and that's probably the best way I'd put it too, it's like, you're not buying it, you're just adding 2 lots.
That's at the limit, is
Yeah.
what I took, right?
yeah,
If he was going any more than that, then it would require.
Yeah,
Which is gonna add a lot of money to the project, to plat it.
Yeah.
time.
So I just thought it would be a good idea to have an update, at least on what's going on there, so that people were aware if they're watching, waiting for the next move from the county.
We're going on we're going on probably 4 months.
Have we got any target date to shoot for now?
I don't have a target date.
Sooner the better.
I think once it's done and you know what those lots look like and they're, you have something to go off of, then you can make the next move. And what sounds like the consensus is right now, though there hasn't been a vote to move forward with an auction. So.
Be nice to move forward as quickly as we can, but we gotta make sure we got our act together.
Right, and our surveyors are working on getting the divisions out there, and then, of course, that'll have to all be approved to go through geotech, but so we are working on that side of it.
Get our legal descriptions and whatnot, so we know how to describe what we're selling. And
Yeah.
is it 1.5, 1.5, and 1.9 is my recollection.
Right.
So,
And that's why the legal descriptions are the key next step. And while Ryan's here, not to put him on the spot, this is sort of a county-wide department head issue that ultimately the decision comes to the board and has to do with policy and procedure. One of the issues is maybe for just to chew on right now, those decisions need to be made. Vacation time and then inclement weather and you just want to pass that around. This is in the current policy and procedure manual, and it will be in some shape, form, or fashion in the new policy manual, but this is what we're dealing with right now. I think it's the same conversation regardless of whether it's old or new. Section 19 that deals with when employees are eligible for a vacation, paid vacation time when the courthouse closes. And I think depending on which department you're in, the interpretation is different. So to have the conversation start here so that when department heads get together, we're having a monthly meeting right now, everybody's on the same page. So
I
if you
think
read,
we've discussed this before, haven't we not?
well, you have, but there's still,
If Susie wants the day off on January 12th, or July 12th, and a water line breaks in the courthouse, she's already got her vacation scheduled for that day, and the water line breaks in the courthouse, and we have to send everybody home, little Susie still takes a vacation day,
As planned.
as planned. I think we're beating a dead horse here.
Yeah.
We've already discussed this.
so the other time that's come up is that one is obvious, or if there's a snow day or something else. But at the end of the year when the courthouse shuts down, and at noon or whatever time it is, the books are closed, if somebody was already on vacation for that entire week, do they get the vacation pay or something else for that time period? And I think that's an area where it's, depending on who you talk to, it's been done differently. Does that make sense? So the way this reads, if you're interpreting it, it talks about emergencies, which is what you're talking about, Jesse. Or when there's a safety issue and somebody's already on vacation and they're not here and everybody else is here and then the courthouse shuts down, does that person also get that second half of the day?
That person's on vacation.
I think that's where there's been confusion.
Well, I thought we clarified the confusion by saying if you had a vacation day planned and you were on vacation and the courthouse closed, you still were on
Well,
vacation.
so was there ever, do we ever change the policy for that, or was there just discussion?
It was supposed to be changed.
This is the only thing that I've seen. And so I know for like emergency closings, you know, if the courthouse is closed, obviously for snow, we're working. And so if I've got an employee that's on vacation or was scheduled for vacation and they come in to work,
Talking about a whole different situation.
yeah, you're right,
Talking about a whole different situation.
right. That's emergency call out then, like we've discussed place.
I think the wording in this, what I just handed out, and I'll move down to the paragraph where it starts, the safety of the public and employees is paramount. The courthouse may be closed either because of the inability of employees to report for duty or because of the need for employees to depart from duty early due to its deteriorating conditions. There's no issue with that, but the next sentence. In the event the courthouse is closed as a result of an emergency or other special circumstance, employees other than EMWO shall be allowed to leave and not report, and then it goes through and it talks about the pay. And I think where maybe the confusion is other special circumstances. I don't think the courthouse, in my opinion, when it shuts down at the end of the year, is an other special circumstance. If you read that as a whole, it's talking about emergencies and special circumstances, whether it be, you know, you have a water main break and the water goes out or no power. Those are special circumstances. This, in my interpretation. So I just, you are the policymaker for the county and you get to make the ultimate decision on what that means, and I think that's why I'm bringing it up, because there is
Somebody's trying to get a half a day pay that was on vacation. Basically what it boils down to, in my eyes.
I'm with Jesse, Commissioner Knight, that we crossed this bridge once, I thought already, and we determined that, like he said, if Susie's on vacation and it snows 10 inches and the courthouse can't open, Susie's still on vacation.
Or if they have vacation last day of the year, they're off from Christmas to New Year's, and we come in the last day of the year and shut the courthouse down at 11 o'clock, you're on vacation.
I think
you could differentiate a little bit between those, because one of those you know is gonna happen.
Correct.
The one at the end of the year is, to some degree, whether it's an hour, whether it's more than that, is gonna happen.
Everybody that works for the county knows if you shut down.
The emergency closings, I think there's a difference there. I mean, we don't know when that's gonna be. I think it could be debatable that if somebody's on vacation for that day and the courthouse closes, is it fair to them? Is it fair to them? Is it equal across the board? That's the one thing I would say we want to be sure that we're doing.
They wasn't planning on being reported to work that day. So what's it matter?
I mean, that's, in my mind, it's the easiest, the simplest way to have the policy is, no, we don't do that. I understand how they feel that they're getting shorted, that everybody else got to go home, but that's kind of like the people that work on the crew that says, well, Billy always works harder than, or I always work harder than Billy does, and he draws just as much money as I do. It's kind of, to me, this doesn't make much more sense than that.
I think it would be helpful, I know we're still waiting on our new policy book, because as of now, we have to do what our policy that is in place, and so that says the opposite of that. So I think that's what's created a lot of the confusion within, I know, my department, because it's been handled both ways in the past, but if you go by what the policy book says, that person gets reimbursed their vacation time.
Right.
So that's what we had to do this last time the courthouse was closed. So I don't, if we need to make a special policy there, if that's what you guys want to do before the new one comes in place, then, not that we're going to have any more snow days this year, hopefully.
Right.
But
right.
then I just would be sure that the new policy book, that that's spelled out in there, because I would say it's probably reads similar to what this one does right here.
I think it's been, although, that's why I'm bringing it up, because it's, the interpretation has been maybe misapplied, and some may have interpreted it as being ambiguous, so it needs to clearly state that if you're on vacation, the day before, whatever the event is, then it's vacation time versus if that emergency condition takes place, then you get vacation time just like that.
How quick's the new policy manual coming out?
They can't get here soon enough.
Right.
I'm tired of this crap.
There's a draft, but in reviewing what that draft says, it needs to be fixed so that it's clear.
Yeah. I guess I assumed that once we were making amendments, if you will, to the work in progress, that they were being thought as, that's the new rule, so to speak, but evidently it's not.
Well, it is, but
Because like I say, this was brought up last year, I think, and that was our decision that time, and that's my decision this time. I mean, I think we're more than fair as an employer to our employees, I think. We go over the top a lot.
I feel this is trying to get blood out of a turnip.
well, so Ryan and I can talk about it, all the department heads can talk about it, but when you guys are the ones who set the policy, that's why I think it's pretty clear what you're.
So do we need to make a motion or something that says that becomes policy now, if that's what we want to happen?
I think it probably wouldn't hurt from this point forward if you want that to be something that's memorialized in a way where then it can be sent out to everybody, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it would be documented then, instead of being in limbo, waiting for the new policy book to come out, if that's the situation.
And then an email could go out to all the department heads and say, look, this has been clarified, here's what the commissioners, what their intent is regarding vacation time when it comes to closure of the courthouse for any reason. If you're on vacation leading up to that point, it will still be vacation time. If you are scheduled to work on that day, then you will get the benefit of what the county decides at that time.
And that's not call-outs like what Ryan's department would have. In my mind, that's not what we're talking about.
Yeah, that's two different
That's
situations.
a totally different thing, you know?
And that's always been kind of my,
Yeah.
I don't know. Close the courthouse, but yeah, you guys gotta get to work.
Yeah,
So
let's
everybody
double
else
down
can.
now, yeah.
So, don't envy your department any.
Yeah. Like I say, I wasn't wanting to upset anybody here, this is what's in front of me.
No,
in
you're
my
not.
department when I'm,
It is somewhat.
Yeah.
We probably do seem frustrated, but again, this was brought up a
you've
year
had the
ago.
conversation, I get that.
And that was a decision we made a year ago, and now here we are again.
Right.
Beating this thing up again. So I thought that every time we made an amendment to this policy book that's in a work in progress, I thought that went into that policy book at that time.
And it may be in there, Tom.
We made that decision,
Yeah.
therefore, it was the way things were supposed to be. But again, it's not done, so nobody really knows what the new book actually says.
Yeah, maybe that's not in effect yet.
I think a lot of those changes that we're talking about probably going to be in the handbook, but the handbook hasn't been adopted.
Well, I've got a copy of the proposed handbook, and I've got a copy of the green book.
Yeah.
The green book that is what I refer to when I'm
Sure.
need to see
I
for stuff,
understand the dilemma.
answer questions like this. So I think that's kind of the confusion. We're in this in-between realm of the two, I think.
Right,
So,
and I get that part.
yeah.
Well, I'm gonna say something to get it off my chest. It's probably the wrong thing to say. And I'll probably get 5 phone calls from it, and I really don't care. This type of a situation, I would evaluate the integrity of the employee that is going and asking, I was on vacation this day, and the courthouse closed, so I should get an extra vacation day. I would evaluate that employee if it was my business.
I mean, I get that side of it, but right here is what I have to do as a department head, or what we have to do as a county.
As-
Right or wrong, right or wrong, this is what we have to go off of.
As well as everybody knows that I totally do not support the old policy manual.
But we haven't implemented a new one yet, and it puts you in the jam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one's still work in progress, 2 years now plus.
Yes.
But I don't know if the new
Yeah.
policy manual clarifies that particular issue, does it?
It's spelled out a little bit different, but I think the intentions are, I think the end is about the same, I believe, in it, so.
I think it's, the wording matters, so, but I'll suggest the current revision of the new policy manual has a bunch of things that, and I think it's gonna be an evolving, fluid situation where things are gonna have to be, and it's like legislation, every year, something has to be tweaked for some reason because of whatever it is. So, based on the comments of where we are right now, I think the important thing will be to have that new policy manual put in place, and then with the most recent updates as of the last time it was brought before the board, and then if things like this happen, it'll just have to be fixed on the fly, because I don't think there's any way you're ever gonna get everything exactly how you want it.
It's gonna have to be a fluid document, I mean, there's gonna have to be changes to it over time.
It's almost corporate process around the clock.
So,
We're out of time.
No matter when it's adopted, it'll still be.
I guess, again, I thought when we made that decision a year ago, that it got in the policy manual, was amended that way at that time. Again, I've not seen the latest and greatest version,
so if you want, maybe put the policy manual on the agenda for next week, that way if there's anybody who has any, wants to be a part of that at 11 o'clock next week, then they can be here, make their comments, and then make a decision and move forward with the current, most recent revision. That way you get that off the plate.
Okay.
I still say my policy manual is like this. I go out to the job site to pick you up, and take you to ride my pickup. You either go back to the job site or back to your own pickup. But, again, I just thought it was amended, and that was kind of the gospel, but, yeah, whatever you think.
You got something on there that I can't see? You don't see the motion, I'm just gonna read this, something that Angie typed up. To policy change 19, if an employee has a scheduled vacation day or sick day and the courthouse closes for any reason, the employee is still charged their vacation or sick day.
I so move.
I'll second.
And I would only change it so that it carries on from now into the next policy, instead of policy 19, courthouse closure procedure, because that's what it applies to, right? That's what that section is, section 19.
Yeah.
So anything that has to do with courthouse closure.
Everybody still agree with the move in the second on the corrections?
Motion to change courthouse closure procedure. If any employee has scheduled vacation or sick day, and the courthouse closes for any reason, that employee is charged their vacation or sick day. I still move.
I added
I still second.
courthouse closure procedure and policy, or should it just be closure policy?
I'm fine with that, Rick.
I'm fine either way.
Okay.
So what if somebody's on comp time or other form of PTO? And it's not worded in there, I mean, I think,
So add comp time?
Well, is that considered a vacation then?
it's a,
Comp
yeah,
time?
it's a paid
It's a paid day off, so I mean, it's the same thing, is it not?
It's a different, I mean, it's not vacation, it's a comp day.
Oh, yeah.
I get it,
Funny nerd now.
I get it, I mean,
And
I
I mean,
just,
you get
so, okay,
whatever
let's make sure it's right
reasonable
before-
Well,
thing.
let's,
Yeah,
let's
right.
put
So-
it this way, if you have a scheduled day off, paid day off, if you have a scheduled paid day off, no matter whether it's comp, vacation, or
Don't matter.
sick,
funeral,
it don't matter,
right,
it don't matter. So maybe instead of vacation or sick day, just, if you have, if an employee is
Scheduled day,
scheduled.
I think
to be
PTO
off,
probably
paid
covers
day
it all.
off.
well, you can might as well throw PTO on it. Wade likes words and longer paragraphs and so on and so forth. The more the
It's-
merrier.
I
It's
think
like
that
this
encompasses
policy manual.
everything.
It went from 2 sentences to
I
a freaking paragraph.
know.
So we wanna explain it. So, well, what if? I can-
But the more explanations, the more areas for them to go into the gray.
I think what Jesse said there a while ago, evaluate the employee if you get to that next point.
That's where I'm at.
That may not sound like a good statement out here, but
Well,
Yeah.
but I'm tired of
We gotta
this,
get
I'm
some
tired of
good-
this stuff.
I think we're done.
Yeah, I'm tired of it. I've had it to there. So, are we gonna add,
Addressing any paid day
are
then?
we gonna add PTO to that? I guess we might as well add PTO to that paragraph,
Okay. Just PTO only?
whatever. I'd add every abbreviation, sick day, whatever has come up to that paragraph.
If they have a scheduled paid day off,
That's black and white, scheduled paid day off, period.
then I'll start our secretary.
That would identify every issue that came up. 'Cause scheduled payday off, that's what it's gonna be.
Run her off.
I think she's looking at,
I got it.
looking for other
No, I'm sitting right down.
Verbiage.
I got you.
verbiage.
If we just call it scheduled paid day off, and eliminate all the definitions.
Yeah, sure
Would that
would.
cover it, Ryan? Scheduled paid day off?
sure. I mean, yes, I mean, I would just say paid time off, PTO, it doesn't matter if it's an hour,
Any form of
courthouse closes for an hour or
Okay,
it's a
so
full
that-
day.
Yeah.
I mean, that's,
Okay.
PTO, I mean, I think that covers your personal day, it covers vacation, it covers sick, covers funeral, covers comp. I mean, simply PTO is paid time
Okay.
off, I think that would encompass
That
everything.
defines it, that's great. I'm just trying to come up with less words and everything being included, that was all.
The employee is charged their bank or,
Pre-designated time.
I'll reread this one.
Everybody like that, and probably,
We'll read it for the public. It's already been moved and seconded, but we've made some changes to it. Move to change courthouse closure procedure and policy. If an employee has any paid time off, also known as PTO, scheduled and the courthouse closes for any reason, the employee is charged their pre-designated time. It was moved by Hugutin and seconded by Meats. Do you two still stand on your
I do.
move and second?
Yes.
No further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes. And my phone will start ringing.
And by doing that now, it goes into effect now, correct? Okay.
Well, anything else for me? Thanks, Wade.
I think you've done enough, Brian. I think you've done enough.
The attorney has given me a headache.
You extras of those? All right, you guys have a good day.
Thank you.
You too, thank you.
I just swore when we had that discussion a year ago that it was implemented into the new policy manual. And so it's like the new policy manual as it's being, edited or whatever you wanna call it, is it the gospel now, or we gotta wait till it's 100% done and bless it,
So as you,
and the flagpole?
as you change policies, if you recall, like the funeral policy leave, and I don't remember all the policies, but they have to have a placeholder like this that can memorialize them, so that when somebody, then you have to put everybody on notice. So now an email will go out, and if somebody wants to say, well, when did that happen? Now there's a bumper that you can point back to, and now you can even point back to this meeting where this discussion took place. So if somebody wants to, for example, call you, Jesse, say, at 9:45 on February 20th, go watch the meeting, and you'll get that entire discussion.
Do we send out addendums to the policy and procedure manual?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. And they're actually listed on the website under the policy manual, under the commissioners.
Well, see, and that's why I thought, when we talked about this a year ago, that it automatically went in place, but.
I don't think there was ever the formal motion that carried with it.
Okay.
I think it was
just discussion to the new
To be an add
deal.
into it.
Yeah, so that's why I wanted to bring it up, so that
Great.
it's crystal clear, because I can talk about it, and then we can go to another department head, and they can, and I think it's pretty clear now.
Okay.
So you sabotaged Ryan? You made him the goat?
No.
Sacrificial goat.
I think he comes to me and we talk about a number of issues, and some of it is interpretation, and when you interpret things, you know, I think it's important that if there's a question that gets brought before you, so that you get to make it crystal clear on what your expectations are and what that policy is, because I'm not the policy maker.
He's just the messenger. It's kind of the deal, don't shoot the messenger, and that's why it didn't fly off the handle near as bad as I could have.
Sure.
And, because he's just a messenger, and that's why I say, I don't have an issue with him, I have an issue with the employee that is reading into the manual that much to get something for nothing, is what I'm going at, that's where I'm at. Using the manual.
Yeah, but apparently we didn't have that change, is not in there yet, I guess.
There's been so many changes, I can't wait for this new deal to come out, even though it's longer than I ever wanted it to be. But
It'll be good. Yeah.
But you're still gonna have wording that can be questioned one way or another. I mean,
Yeah.
you can have the best of intentions to fix something so it's only one way, and one word can change that, and then you have one person read it one way, one person read it another, and unfortunately, then you'll have to go back and do it, fix it once again.
that's why I say the more words it's got in it, the more interpretation that you can have.
Well,
That's why we had two attorneys in the court case, because one attorney's gonna try to interpret it their way, and the other one's gonna do it the other way.
yeah. Well, I'll leave the policy manual there, because there was one other thing to ask about, but.
Let's go ahead and roll with it.
Okay.
I'm already salty, let's go.
Salty.
This one is not as controversial.
Well, let me back up a minute though, like on the I'm gonna lose my wording wrong here, but it was when you retired or departed employment, you lost your first 160 hours and it went into the bank for somebody else to use, and then we switched to where you could only bank so many hours. Did we make a motion for that to go into that?
Yes.
I think we did away with that bank.
Okay, we just didn't make a motion for this
Right.
one,
Yes.
so
I think
that's,
you guys are just saying what you wanted in the new policy on this particular issue, but nothing was ever made a motion. And so then here we are going along, and then this topic comes up,
Okay.
and it's like, oh, great, you know, and so.
yeah,
Where it really came front and center is at the end of the year, and the courthouse shut down early because the books were done, and then those who were on vacation for that entire week or whatever to clear out the end of the year, the interpretation was, well, up until the point you shut down the courthouse, they're still on vacation, and then for the remainder of the day, then it ends up being, I don't know exactly what it was. So that brought it to the forefront once again, and I don't think there's a whole lot of other situations or circumstances where it's being misinterpreted, but that was one that I think illuminated the issue and why this discussion needed to take place.
I guess I don't remember making a motion about the 160 hours and all of that.
Yeah, I can pull it up.
No, I believe you.
Okay.
I just,
Yep.
for whatever reason, I don't.
Yeah, it was made in the fall, it seems
I don't
like,
recall the
before, like
exact
in
motion, but
October, November.
And
because
that's
I
when we
pulled it up
decided
before.
we do the other insurance policy.
Short-term disability.
Short-term disability, so.
Okay.
I don't remember exactly what we did, but we done quite a bit that time, so I'm sure we did do a motion.
So, and this may be something Angie can answer a whole lot quicker, but there's been a question, and these questions are different things that get brought to me, and I think different department heads interpret it different. Vacation leave will be accrued by eligible employees beginning with the date of employment. No employee shall be permitted to use vacation time for any period spent on unauthorized leave or during their probation period. When does that begin? Some interpret they begin to accrue vacation time the day number one, which means they automatically start out with, for month one, without any prior employment, at 6.67 hours that you earn per month. So does that accumulate for the entire, from day one, you get 6.67, and then, and I see you shaking your head, and I would agree with that. So if someone starts today on February 20th, do you go a full month, and then is that how it's calculated, or is it prorated for the month that goes from the 20th to the 15th? Is it prorated? You don't get 6.67, it's subtracted from that. I think that it's not that big of an issue, but it's one where
If they stay, is there a reason we shouldn't count it as part of it? I mean, you know, if we keep them at the end of the probation period, their employment started then. Were you shaking your head yes, that's what we do now?
Actually, okay, so because we've been on paper timesheets, this is where this is kind of coming into, I think, an issue. You're supposed to work the whole month and then you gain your 6.67 hours, or you work that pay period and you get your 6.67 hours as a new employee.
Right.
So if someone were to start today, they would in fact get the 6.67 hours, but it would be starting on next month. How it's been is that, so someone, let me give you an example of, let's just say someone that uses all their time. Okay, they know they're gonna get 8 hours for this month, but they use it every time they can get it, and so they might use it this month.
They'd use it that first month.
And then the next month. And so that's gonna change with the new time clock system, because they're not actually gonna earn that time till the first day of that next pay period. That's how this is gonna work.
I think that's better, isn't it?
I mean, that's just,
I mean,
I
I
think that'll
think
clarify
if
the
they're on
policy.
probation, I don't think they'd and they shouldn't get, I mean, potentially could they get paid for time off and they weren't gonna be kept under employment, am I correct?
After the 30-day vacation, after the 30-day probation, or even if it's 60-day probation, after the first month, day one after their first month of employment, they can quit and get that 6 point whatever hours of vacation paid to them.
Yeah.
I thought probation period is 6 months.
Whatever.
But if we,
yeah, I don't know if
if we,
it's changed in the new policy, I don't know.
I don't know, maybe it is that long.
I know this before they're eligible for a raise.
Which yes, which led me to believe.
6 months on a, before they get a step.
Okay, I didn't understand that, so.
I'm assuming, again, sorry. It was 6 months before you get a step increase, so I just assumed that would be the
That's
probation
part of
period.
it, I think.
Your typical probation is 6 months.
Okay.
That way, you have the ability to make decisions, and some instances, depending on performance, you can extend that probation period for a variety of reasons. Let's say somebody's habitually late, you wanna give them a chance in that time window, you could potentially give them an extension to see if they correct that behavior. If they don't, then I think that probation period's still live. Or if they're habitually late and it's been dealt with, then I guess you make the decision whether they continue to be employed or not.
To me, they shouldn't earn any vacation time and start their first full month of employment. And they have already been employed for 2 weeks, but it's not a full pay period.
So my interpretation is during that time, it's a prorated, instead of the 6.67, if they earn any time, if it's only half, they're only here 2 weeks, then they only get half of that 6 point.
That's the way the policy is now.
Well, I think it's ambiguous, and I think that's why I brought it up, so it could be clarified, because as it was mentioned, you start out with a 6.67 as soon as you walk in the door, and you gotta be here for 30 days, which makes sense, but what happens if somebody leaves early? It only makes a difference, in my opinion, at the front end or the back end. Let's say somebody's here 2 weeks in, they either decide they don't wanna work here, they go to a different job, or they're terminated. What happens to that accumulated time period? Because it says it starts upon employment, and vacation leave shall be accrued by eligible employees beginning with the date of employment. So that starts day one, right?
So day one, you get 6.7 hours.
It won't.
I don't interpret it
I
that
don't
way.
look at it as that way, but
I interpret it
Sure,
that
somebody
you start to accrue that time, and then
You
for
start
a
to
month,
accrue,
it's
right.
6.67, then day one, I don't know what that math isn't my thing, but you've accumulated 1 day's portion on 6.67. And then day two, and it adds up to, for a full month, 6.67. So, be thinking about that, because you can clean it up, and you can make it say whatever you want. You can have it, I would have a suggestion, and I can bring it back next week.
Okay.
my suggestion is nothing goes through the probation period, then it gets prorated back if your review is good at the end of your probation period.
Wade, can you get with me before you make your recommendation, so that, because the payroll system's gonna work a certain way too.
Yep.
So I just wanna make sure that whatever you're putting in, it's gonna work.
So, if you want it to be clear that you can't use your vacation time until you're off of probation, I think that needs to be.
They'd be accumulating it, but they couldn't use it until, that would be,
And then if they quit, or their review is not what it should be, then you go home.
If we've kept them around 6 months though, you.
They're gonna
think
stay.
They're gonna stay, or we should have got rid of them before they
Prior
were
to
a
that.
problem.
Yeah,
So I don't know.
I don't know.
In my mind, as vacation time's kind of part of their pay, I can see that I think it'd be good that they couldn't use it until the probation period's over, but I kind of view it as part of their pay. Maybe they should get it from that point on, no matter what. Am I thinking wrong, or?
I'm not sure they've earned a vacation, actually take it until they're employed for 1 year. I know that was the structure I was under.
Well, that's a whole 160, that's a whole 160, whatever it was. You couldn't do anything until you had that much available. Is that right, Wade? That's the way I took you couldn't take any vacation or personal time until you accrued 160 hours, or something to that effect. There was something in that wording back there. At the very beginning.
That almost takes 2 years to build that 160 hours.
Maybe it was 80 hours.
Yeah, I think
Maybe it's 80 or something.
I don't know what, but 80 to me is what. No vacation until they be 1 year employed.
I think the way it's set up right now is the 6 months.
6
And
months.
then they're out.
And then they're eligible to use vacation time. And then you have a cap on, depending on how long you've been employed, it continues to flex out. But I think I do think it needs to be a little more clear. Right now is the time to have that discussion, because this is an interpretation issue. I don't know that anybody's trying to take advantage of it. I think people think if they have vacation time they've earned, they can take it when they want to take it, and I think for the most part that's correct. But when you first start and when you can start using it, accumulating it and using it are two different things.
Okay.
So for clarification, that's why this is a good discussion.
I like the 6 months. While you're under probation, you can't use it. You need to be putting 100% into your job, doing your job, learning your job. We don't need to be taking the kitten to taking a day off, take the cat to the vet, to whatever.
There's no way they should have the right within a probation period.
I don't think so,
No way.
But they accumulate,
Yeah.
But
I
they are,
think
Accumulate
they
from
still
day
should
one.
earn it.
but they are accumulating.
that makes sense.
To me, that makes it very clear.
I know, and at least one employee start just right before the end of the year. And then January, got a cost of living raise, so went through the month, so that makes sense,
Shouldn't have gotten anything till.
that makes sense too,
What I just handed out was the projected billing schedule supplied by River City that goes through month 1 through 18, starting December 23 and ending in May of 25. Is there not enough for you, Mark? Sorry, I thought I had enough. So if you look in, for example, May of 24, you're talking about
3 million.
in the neighborhood of 3 million, and April of 24, 2.5, May, just under 3 million, June, 1.75, July, 2, so by November of 24, if things go according to projection, you're going to be at $19 million. So that's why having the schedule and being able to provide that to Joe Serrano was important.
Yep.
Yeah, we definitely need to do something on that second set of bonds in June, July, or August.
Well, it takes Takes about a month or two to get them. Once you, I mean, the preparation up, to prepare up to it going out.
I believe Joe told me 60 to 90 days from beginning to end, because you have to do publication, you have to put it out for bids and so on and so forth, and then he has to go through the Attorney General's office to get approval and so on and so forth. So he's aware of it, he's working on it behind the scenes, and I think he and Greg Behrenberg will get together, and then he will be on the agenda at some point soon when he's ready to bring it before the board, but just so you're aware.
Anybody use a 10-minute break?
Yes. Or if we're getting ready to go to executive
I say
session.
10-minute break. We'll come back at 10:36.
It happens.
That's why I say I question the integrity.
We'll be back in.
All right, we're back. Mr. Wade, how long of a executive session are you needing?
15 minutes.
That's what I got on my timer.
So before you do that, if you want to go back to the Bailey property for just a minute,
Okay.
I don't mind going out and helping. I was telling Tom, I actually enjoy cutting grass. I don't need anything for it, as long as there's a piece of equipment to use, and if there isn't, then I'll tote mine, but I can take care of it, I'll take care of it during that time.
I can pitch in as well.
Like I say, I got my big tractor, old Ford tractor, it just needs a little leafer and maybe a tire aired up.
So, I think to minimize expense, if everybody's okay with that, then whatever that timeline is, let Tom and I know, or whoever, then we can try to get it taken care of.
Having a smaller lawnmower there to go around everything, because the big tractor is, I mean, it's power steering works sometimes it doesn't, and so.
To do the touch-up.
To do the touch-up, yeah.
I got fairly sizable zero turn.
The curb appeal is what you're,
It's curb appeal a quarter mile away, so it doesn't have to be beautiful, but I do weed eat, you know, so.
I mean, you've been carrying the torch on that since the county acquired it, so some other people could probably.
Well, I kind of feel responsible for it, so that's why.
Understood.
I'd be willing to help too, but it's a really busy time of year for me, so.
Yeah, we can work around it.
We'll work around it.
Works for me. And it's not perfect by no means, but
Sure.
it's, the weeds are down and keeps some ice away and pack rats and everything else, so.
Does help.
Yeah, that makes a big difference.
I'm good with it.
20-minute or 15-minute executive session, myself, the board, under the attorney-client exception, and specific subject matters to discuss a county agreement contract that will result in litigation.
I so move.
I second that.
Moved by Huguet and seconded by Thompson. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. We'll enter at 10:41 by my clock. For 15 minutes. You ready to type?
Oh. Okay.
So the executive
Coming out.
session is concluded, and action needs to be taken. The best way to summarize where things are as the board and the public is aware at this point. The county has been very active in economic development projects across the county to include economic development loans to different individuals trying to have startups across the county. And one of those is the Maribel's restaurant. At this point in time, and I think it's everybody is aware, including the commissioners, that the Maribel's restaurant ended up shutting its doors, and I don't remember the exact date, but it's been a little while now. That project is another economic development loan project. So the county can protect its interest in that particular project. The county needs to take some proactive steps in doing so. One of those steps is part of the project for the Maribel's restaurant to move forward was an ancillary or companion agreement with Lyon County State Bank, where certain funds were supplied to help support and provide funding for the opening of that building. Is that a fair way of saying that? So for the county to take the next steps necessary for the county to protect its interest, the county needs to move forward and, in essence, buy out Lyon County State Bank, what interest Lyon County State Bank has. So the requested action for today, and it's being done in this way for transparency purposes, is for the county the commission to approve buying out the balance due and owing related to the Maribel's economic development project. In the amount of $76,498.61. And that includes the balance due and owing and other associated fees that are a part of the loan with Lyon County State Bank.
We should be able to pull those funds from economic development, should we not? From what I see here. Would it be the loan fund or this economic development?
I'd do it from the loan fund. That's where we went with it at, wasn't it? And that's where the money come from.
Right.
It was a oopsie, so
Yeah.
I would think it'd only be fair to pull it out of that.
I just know they're gonna wanna put it in the motion as to where it's gonna come from, so.
Yeah, and and I'm not looking at the motion as it's being typed, but the other part of the motion would be for approval of the chairman to sign any necessary documents that would allow that, because it's gonna be an agreement between the county and Lyon County State Bank for the county to assume, in essence, their mortgage, which is on file with the Registry of Deeds. So that's the legal side of it. The result of this will then require the county to take further action, but this is step one, because ultimately, this is step one of the county working towards protecting itself regarding this particular project. And there will be future requests of this board to take further action in the very near future. So I'm trying to be as open and transparent about that as possible, because I know, unlike anybody else, sees all the conversation and rumors that fly about that particular property, and I think this is the first time this board has made any public comment regarding that property since it closed.
Now, on that document, that was dated 2/12, and did it not state that it was occurring $8 something a day? What my question is the figure correct that you gave?
I believe so. The figure I have is as of the 19th. I took that into consideration.
Okay.
There will be at a future date and time, if this goes through, and if you would like me to, a loan sales agreement that is one that the county would present to Lyon County State Bank to purchase what's being discussed right now. And that document has the figure it's not been approved yet, but that figure. And once it's approved, then it would be presented to you for formal consideration. So maybe we'll start out with approval to move forward with the amount that can be presented, if that's what you want to do, presented to Lyon County State Bank, and then at that point, we can get the agreement turned around in rapid fashion. It will lock in those figures, and then we'll bring it back hopefully next week if it's approved for formal action on the loan agreement.
Well, I mean, the most it'd be is, just say $10 a day from the 19th. So, I mean,
Looking at $100.
you look at, a maximum of $100. Could we, instead of, if something comes back tomorrow from Lyon County, could it be signed then and get this deal, not have to wait till Monday?
I mean, that's up to you. In essence, the agreement has the county purchasing Lyon County's, paying off Lyon County's mortgage related to the Maribel's operation, and then the county assuming what their mortgage attaches to, which their mortgage attaches to some of the fixtures and equipment contained in the building is really what along with some of the improvements that were made.
So the figure, so we could move forward, even if you take that up to 76,600, that should cover
Could we say a
up
maximum?
to 76,700.
Actually, no, you're right, the amount that I have is different. So I would say maybe not to exceed 76,700.
76,700, that's what I'm trying to
Yeah,
do.
yeah,
to
yeah. So
prevent-
you're right,
Done.
that's,
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to prevent from coming back next
Yep.
week.
yep, nope, you're right.
It'd be covered then.
Yeah, they would be covered. If you get an agreement, but I signed this today, they send something back tomorrow, I need to come down and sign something tomorrow, boom, let's get it done.
Yep.
This gives us a clear lane to do that, right?
Yep. So the amount will need to be changed to 76, not to exceed 76,700.
To allow for per diem, or, to allow for, interest occurred, or whatever you wanna call it, daily interest.
I think it just, if it says not to exceed,
76,700, okay. I'm happy. I'm not happy, but
and then, approval for the chairman to sign any necessary documents, including but not limited to a loan sales agreement. And I capitalized the LS and A in loan sales agreement.
Okay.
So I think that's, I'm okay with that if you are.
all right, motion reads, move to approve buying out the balance due and owning related to the Mary Bell's Economic Development Project in the amount not to exceed $76,700. And that includes the balance due and owing of other associated fees in the loan with Lyon County State Bank, and approve of the chairman to sign all necessary documents, including but not limited to loan sales agreement, an agreement between the county and Lyon County State Bank in order for the county to assume the loan on file with the Registry of Deeds. The result of this will require the county to take further action in order to protect the county in this particular project. Funds to come from Economic Development Loan Fund.
So move. I'll second that.
Moved by Hughes and seconded by Thompson. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes. Thank you, Wade, for your work on this.
Very much.
As far as we can go today, right?
Yes, but once this kicks off, then other things will.
Okay.
And there will be more that gets brought before the board and the public in the future.
Very good.
What else you got for roundtable?
I think I've caused enough chaos for today. So, unless you have anything else for me, I've covered the topics I needed to cover.
I can't think of anything for you.
thing I was speaking to you earlier about.
I mean, I think we can discuss it, and then bring it back up next week if we need to. Is that what you're?
Yeah.
Okay. Get a little more, clarification from that individual.
You want me to? Yeah.
You can, but I will too.
Okay, alright, okay. Good enough.
No more discussion, Wade?
Guess not.
No more roundtable with Wade.
Okay. I just have to go down, there's a law enforcement training that my office double booked me, so I need to go down and.
Okay.
The subject I talked to you over the weekend,
Yep. We just need to get together and
get together.
then we can talk.
Time would work for you. And I'm free all week.
Yep. Swing by my office, because I can't think of what my calendar looks like. I know I've got court Wednesday,
I'm tied up Thursday morning for
and then I think I should be free Thursday afternoon, and then
I'll be in Brunswick Thursday.
Friday afternoon. So
I'll check with,
anytime you have a holiday and then
yeah.
we start on Tuesday, it sort of throws off the schedule.
Thank you, Wade.
Yep. Thank you.
Wade.
Enjoy the rest of your day.
You do the same. Enjoy the great weather.
Do I need to sign? Do I need to sign any of those documents today?
There's nothing that's been, so the agreement, with Lyon County State Bank, once, they vet it and they approve it, then it'll get sent back to me for
Okay.
my review and approval, and then once if it gets that far, then that's when it would come to, you to sign.
I got a meeting in Wichita tomorrow, but should be back in the afternoon.
Okay.
Have you had a chance to redo that contract yet for the North property?
It's almost
Very good. They're not in a rush or nothing, so we're
Yep.
good, so.
Yep. Once I have that ready to go, then I'll get a hold of you.
Yeah.
Actually, I'll probably just shoot it to you by email,
That's
and
fine.
it will only go to you, and then once it's,
Yeah.
finalized, then it,
So then can I print that off and go get it signed by them and then we can bring it in here? Does that work or?
I would prefer it be done the other way around, that it be approved here before it goes there.
Okay, very
And the
good.
last time it was done, that's the way it was done, and then, that individual came in and signed it, and then it got,
Okay. That's fine. Just didn't know which needs to come first.
yep, I prefer this board approve it before it goes out to them.
Okay, all right.
And that's for the pasture lease agreement.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Dawn, roundtable?
I'm fine.
Wade?
So I think we're ahead.
Tom?
No, I still haven't got with City about the drop-off zones. I apologize, it keeps slipping my mind.
It happens.
It's on my radar.
So we've all been busy.
Angie?
Yeah, just give you a little update on, department head meeting last Monday after commission meeting. I had training scheduled with CIC on Tuesday, so, a lot of the things they were bringing up, I've already had in place to address. There were 3 departments, or 2 or 3 that went over to Lyon County to see how their payroll system's working, their time clock. And they had lots of concerns over how things were working in Lyon County and how it's not working here yet. And I told them that we're still trying to get the core of our system kind of built to function like it needs to function, because there's a lot of things that's going to affect everybody, so it needs to be the same. And then we found out that Lyon County somehow is working directly with the time clock company. They didn't sign an agreement with CIC, so there's some differences there. Lyon County is also paid every 2 weeks, where we're paid once a month. And then I was trying to explain to them how our system and our payroll setup, the codes that are in the time clock system have to match what goes into our payroll system in order for it to be paid correctly. So like if you had, say, 40 hours of regular pay, the code for that's 99. And if that's in Time Clock Plus, that code has to match, so it has to be 99 in CIC to go in and say we pay you 40 hours under regular pay. So there's a lot of things, and I know it's frustrating for people, but, you know, I've not had any calls today on any issues, so things I think are moving along. The only thing we may have to do if things aren't completely sorted out is we may still have to do some updating on vacation sick to get those numbers accurate, but it's still a work in progress, and we just need everyone to be patient, but yet keep telling me what needs fixed, so we can get those things fixed. And so
Is Lyon County using the same system we are?
they're using Time Clock Plus, yes, but somehow they're going directly through the company. They're not going through CIC and using the company. So, I mean, it's the same, although I'm being told by departments that, and I wish I would have known they were going, I would have went with them or something, but anyway, they're saying we're on an older system, but I've been told by CIC we're on the newest system. And so they had the name of an individual that said that was the guy that helped Lyon County. So I was provided that number, and I contacted him, and he's actually the salesperson. So he's not even support. But he said that he would try to get a hold of CIC and try to figure out, maybe where we can go to try to get things tweaked even more. I don't know, but
Do we need to eliminate that one step, like Lyon County have done, yes?
that I don't know. And I tried to get a hold of my CIC rep Friday, but she wasn't around. I don't know if she was gone or what. So I'll keep working on that. And we've asked departments to run their paper timesheets along with this so we can make sure everything's accurate. And if things don't look good in the system, we're going to run pay people off the timesheets, just like we always have. But we have to keep going on this.
Yeah.
And if we don't use it, then we're never going to get it tweaked to be
Exactly.
correctly. So it's like, we just have to keep going and keep telling me what changes they need and what they want to see.
But to use it, it's gotta work. Right now, you're not at that point.
No, it's working.
Well, it is working.
Yeah, no, it's working.
To the extent it needs to.
Well, I think it's going pretty good. I just went out and picked different employees and things are looking good. So,
But
I know there's a few things we need to try to work on. If I can get support to help me,
but our agreement's with the CIC, so that's kind of who we're gonna have to stick with
Yeah.
at this point.
yeah, at least for a year anyway.
Kind of like CIC was a broker to Time Clock Plus.
Yeah. And I didn't realize that at the
I
time.
didn't
I didn't know there
either.
was anything different.
Yeah, I didn't either.
So,
I thought the individual that come in and presented the Time Clock Plus was a Time Clock Plus person, but apparently it was with CIC, it was with CIC.
yeah. So anyway, we're still plugging along, and like I said, today looks really good. I haven't heard any complaints, got no emails, so fingers crossed that it starts rolling good. So, and I asked departments, don't wait until the next department head meeting. If you need to get a hold of me now, don't wait, because
Yeah,
we
try
can't
to
wait.
fix things,
Yeah, we're never gonna get anywhere, we're just spinning wheels, so.
Wind up like the handbook.
Yeah.
3-4 years in the making.
And then, I did get we changed the date for the Southeast Kansas meeting, so we're, I think I got pretty much everybody in number-wise on that. I didn't hear from Anderson, I didn't hear from Franklin, but I know Franklin said they were coming.
We're counting now the 25th then.
25th or 24th, whatever day that is, that Thursday, that next Thursday. Yeah, 25th. So, so I think we're rolling on that. We've got dates changed with City Hall and for the 4-H building, and, so all looks good there, so that's all I have for today.
I guess I'll back up. When Steve's wife passed away, Jesse and I spoke about sending something, so you probably saw in there where I called Angie and kind of made a decision just to do the memorial fund and went to the firefighters.
They had requested no flowers.
Well, in lieu of flowers, they requested either go to Coffee County,
Right.
Kansas, Coffee County support, cancer support for the volunteer firemen, so I just chose the firemen instead of,
Great.
You're talking about Steve.
yeah, the
Well,
memorial.
that's first, check me, that's first responders.
Yes, first responder, that's what it was.
And there was probably
It went to the right place.
Yeah, very good.
It was as good as the service could be.
Very nice tribute.
Okay. We will. Get these checks signed and have a good week.
Yep, you too.
I've seen that value come across it. I knew I was gonna bring that up today and I forgot.
I should have known that. Yeah, I did.
Payroll.
Yep. Payroll taxes.
I suppose we're not getting out of that.
Well, you can try.
Yeah, we know some people that have tried.
It doesn't work out very well.
Ooh, it's chilly.
No, it's great in here.
There's gonna be enough hot air in there, but it's more done.
Does they have anything else?
It must be waiting on modern air to come in. Or if they have any idea what's wrong with it.
Barb said something about the heat exchanger, something this morning.
Seems like we have a little bit of trouble with what modern air is taking care of.
Yeah, it's a big system. I'm sure it's a confusing part. Yeah, it's a big system. Nobody else has anything? We will adjourn at 11:28.
Like I come to join the party and you guys
Well, she